today what I'm going to be doing is showing you my entire Sega Genesis collection. I have 37 games, and some of them are original, and some of them are newer. But the Sega Genesis was my first console, so I figured I'd give it some love. So let's take a look. All right, so diving on in, we're going to start off with Aladdin on obviously on the Genesis because that's what this video is. Aladdin is a really good side-scrolling platformer. It goes just with the first movie. I picked this up at Calico Games for like $10-15, but you can get Aladdin, Lion King, and Jungle Book on like a collection on the Switch or on modern systems. It's pretty awesome. I just recently picked this up, actually a couple of days ago. This is Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt. This game is kind of like if Bubsy, Sonic the Hedgehog combined, like the platforming kind of stuff, but it's like if they cared a lot about the environment, because that's what he is. Like your thing you collect in this platformer are like bits of trash, and he talks like constantly all the time, like Bubsy, which is really funny. It says it includes a free comic book, but I don't think this one actually. No, this one doesn't have it. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe I'll find it in the future. Who knows? I do have a copy of Battletoads on the Genesis, and this is a really tough game. I've actually never beaten this game. I always get to that stupid sewer tunnel one where you have to jump over the stuff, and I've only gotten past that level a handful of times, and then I usually just die afterwards and get a game over. So I do want to beat this one day. I might do like a let's play with Brandon, and we'll try to beat this because Battletoads is awesome, and it is complete, which is really cool. I got this at Retro Gorilla in like Elsinore. I do have a copy of Beavis and Butthead. This is 2 players. I love the show and I love the humor, and it's very just 90s. So it's like a side-scrolling like adventure game kind of with just mayhem. It's really funny. I have a Sega Genesis Mini with like that little mini console that came out a little while ago, but it has a USB thumbstick attached to it, and it has the entire like library of the Genesis games on it. It has Genesis, the Master System, the 32X, and then I think the Game Gear. That's the full library. So I'll go on there and I'll play the Genesis games, and then if I find one I really like, I try to find it physically because I don't want to go for the entire Genesis library. I don't have the space for it, and I don't have the money for that. But one of the games we found by accident was this game called Brutal: The Paws of Fury. This is a horrible fighting game. The animations are so bad, and the hit detection on this is terrible, but we thought it was so funny, it just made us laugh to tears, so I was like, okay, I have to find this. There used to be a game store over Ortega Highway, because I live in Southern California, over Ortega Highway, and in Rancho Santa Margarita. It was called Play and Trade. They closed down recently, which kind of sucks, but I did pick up a copy of Bubsy 1 and Bubsy 2 there, and the guy was like, thank God you're getting these out of my store. I actually am going for a complete Bubsy collection just to annoy my friend Andy. And the only one I'm missing is the one for the Atari Jaguar. And then I'll have all the Bubsy games because I did pick up Bubsy 3D last year at the SoCal Gaming Expo. I did pick up Chakin. It's like a side-scrolling like shinobi kind of like slasher whatever those types of games are called. This is a fun one. I always wanted this game as a kid because I really liked the cover. And I've never beaten it, but I do want to go through and beat it because the soundtrack in this one's really good. A couple years ago, this is probably before the pandemic, 2017, maybe 2018, I picked up Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. If you've ever played like Puyo Puyo or Tetris, it's really similar to that. It's like the blocks fall and you have to like match them. But you can play this with 2 people and you can play like against each other. It's actually really addicting and fun. I do like this game. I'm trying to get all the Sonic games on Genesis, and I think I'm only missing Sonic and Knuckles is the only one I'm missing. I do have Desert Demolition with Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. It's just a side-scrolling platformer. I love Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes has a special place in my heart. This game, and there's only a couple more in my collection that are just in the cardboard boxes. I do want to get a reproduction box with the clamshell case because I want to have all my games, all my Genesis games have the clamshell cases, but I'll still keep the box, but because it's the original box, but I definitely want the clamshell case just to keep it more protected and secure because that game's getting a little squashed. This is one of my originals. This is Earthworm Jim. This is my same copy. I got this. When did this game come out? I can't even read it because it's so messed up. 1993. So I was born in 1993. So we got this a little afterwards. I think my mom got this in like 94 or 95. This is one of the first. Actually, this was the first shooter game I ever played. So I mean, it's super like scuffed up and scratched up. I'll never replace this box, even as like grimy and grungy that it is. It's history. It's my first copy. So yeah, I love Earthworm Jim. It's kind of a lost franchise. I really think that it needs to make a comeback. My first flight sim ever was F-22 Interceptor, and I always tell people when I talk about flight sim games, I'm like, you guys got to go back and see kind of where it started. It's an EA game. You can tell with this little yellow band right here. You got to go back and check it out because the soundtrack's awesome, but the tech that they used for it was like, ugh, it's not very good. But you should check it out just to see like how far we've come. I picked this up at the SoCal Gaming Expo in 2022. This is Green Dog. This is a horrible game. You are this surfer, like chosen one guy, and the story is super super dumb. Angry Video Game Nerd did an episode about this game. I watched it and I was like, okay, I gotta have that. That's hilarious. So I think I picked this up for like $5. This is another original of mine. This is Nigel Mansell's IndyCar. This is a really good Formula One like racing game. It's very dated if you play it now, but the soundtrack in this game is awesome. I think if you're gonna check out Genesis, at least give this one a try. It's super cheap. I think you can get it for like I've seen it for like $5. It's not that expensive, but this game is hilarious. There's another original right here. This is my original copy of Jurassic Park. This game took me forever to beat because I really wanted to beat the game as Dr. Grant because you can play as Dr. Grant or the Velociraptor. And I beat it as the Raptor like several times. I still have all my stuff in it. I have my original cartridge with my book. I think some of my passwords are actually written in the back too. And then my label it looks okay, but it is a little scratched on the top. But it's history. But yeah, Jurassic Park is one of my favorite franchises, especially when I was a kid. I loved Jurassic Park, so this is really awesome. I did a YouTube short and an Instagram reel on this game. This is probably the hardest game, one of the hardest games in my game collection. This is The Lion King. Now, for those of you that have played The Lion King, this is my original copy, by the way. I've beaten it twice, and when I was a kid, I only had like 4 or 5 Genesis games, so like I didn't have a choice. I had to beat it. The second level with the giraffes and the monkeys, just that game and that this was probably the first time I ever experienced rage playing a video game because I was like, it shouldn't be this hard, and I was also a little kid when I played it. Here's another original that I had. This is Pac-Man 2. This game's weird. It's like a side-scrolling. You're like a god tier thing, like an entity looking down. That makes it sound more intense than it actually is. But you're an omnipotent slingshot, and you're trying to help Pac-Man like do these tasks. It's not a good game, but I had it when I was a kid, and it's kind of just like, okay, I guess I'm playing this. You can play the original Pac-Man and some of the other Pac-Mans in it, which is kind of cool. There's like an arcade you can go to. I picked this up at Calico Games a couple years ago. This is Paperboy. When I was a kid, I had one of those plug-in plays with like the built-in games, and Paperboy was on there, and that was the first time I'd ever played Paperboy. I never played it in the arcade or like on the Nintendo or anything. So I never had the Genesis version, so I picked it up. Again, too, just like Looney Tunes, it's in that cardboard box, and I eventually want to get a clamshell box for this one. I don't buy a lot of sports games, probably just because I don't really play sports. I never really have. But I do play golf occasionally, like very rarely. And golf games are some of the games that I have for sports stuff. This is PGA Golf Tour 2. I played this a lot because my dad plays a lot of golf, and he kind of introduced me to it. So this game is really nostalgic of me with my dad because we would play this. And it's another EA game, just like with the yellow band right here. I thought this was pretty cool. This is because this is my original copy. This is a advertisement for some old Genesis games from like 92, or I think when this came out, 92. So this has been in there for 22 years as of the making of this video. So that's pretty cool. I might frame it and put it up in my game room eventually, but PGA Tour, it still holds up. If you like retro games and you want to play a sports game, it still holds up. It's pretty good. I picked this up at Calico Games. I love Pitfall, all versions of Pitfall, even on the Atari. I love like Indiana Jones and like adventure stuff. Sydney Hunter, that's kind of like what Pitfall is. This was complete. I picked this up for, I want to say like $20. It wasn't that much. Some Genesis games are actually not that expensive, and others are like really expensive. So yeah, Pitfall. This is a really good one. I did that same that same day I picked up Pitfall. I did see a copy of Rocket Knight Adventures behind the glass. I always wanted this game as a kid, and I never got it. And I was really stoked to see it because you play as Sparkster, the Rocket Knight, side-scrolling platformer. It's so much fun, and they just came out with the HD collection for the Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, I missed out on that, so that is something I would like to have in the future. This game I picked up at a place called Luna Games, which is no longer there. It's in San Diego. I think they closed due to the pandemic, but this is Shaq Fu. I had never heard of this game before. I know, I guess I was living under a rock or something, but I had never heard of this game before because, when I was a kid, I only knew like what I saw at Target or at Kmart. So I didn't really get game magazines until like the PS2, PS3 era, but you're Shaquille O'Neal fighting ninjas. That's pretty much it. Now, this next one right here is pretty cool. This is a hack game, but it's a hack of the original Sonic game, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, made to look like it came out in 2020, like the movie, which is super, super cool. It has a transparent blue cartridge as well as a custom instruction manual that looks like the first movie, the Jim Carrey movie. Sonic is skinny in this game, and then Dr. Robotnik looks like the Jim Carrey Robotnik. He's skinny and he has the little comb over. And then this is my original copy of Sonic the Hedgehog. I have the not for resale one because my original Genesis came with Sonic the Hedgehog. This is my original copy. Actually, for that matter, all my Sonic games that I have are my originals. But this is the first one. I actually never beat it on the Sega Genesis because this game was actually really hard. Because this wasn't the first one that I played. My most prized possession in my entire game collection, I will never sell it. I'll never sell any of my games, but I'll never, ever part ways with this game. Even if the day comes and I'm done with video games, like I'm just done with it. I will never get rid of this. This is my original copy of Sonic 2. This was the very first game I ever played, hence why Sonic is my favorite thing of all time. This is really sentimental for me. The tag broke off. I don't know why. This thing is just really old. But what's sentimental about it is like look how messed up the cartridge is. The cartridge has gone through so much wear and tear. I used to play games with my mom when I was a kid, and this has been in there since like 1995 or 1996 and stuff, somewhere around there, like the late 90s. This is the code and the pattern, can't even grab it, the pattern for Metal Sonic at the end of the game. So to this day, even if I'm playing on Sonic Origins, I grab this, and I have it right there in front of me because I know exactly what he's going to do. This is my original copy of Sonic 3. This was my favorite of the Sonics when I was a kid. I played it a lot. It had Knuckles, and I always thought this one was really cool. So, because it even says right here, meet Dr. Robotnik's newest recruit, Knuckles. So we were like, oh, what? There's a new character? Now, this is original with my stuff, but Andy also gave me his, because he got rid of his Genesis collection. he gave me his original Sonic and Knuckles manual to keep in here. So when I find Sonic and Knuckles, I'm gonna put his manual in that box just to pay him some respect. But yeah, Sonic 3, super awesome. And then another original one that I had was Sonic Spinball. This is the pinball Sonic game. Um, I lost the book, and I'm really bummed about that because hopefully I'll find it again. But this is my original copy. It's also missing the hang tag because I don't know. I might have. Because actually, for that matter, almost all my Sonic games are missing the hang tags. I think I just kind of snapped them off when I was a kid. I don't know what I was thinking, but Sonic Pinball is awesome, or Spinball, sorry, is awesome. And then my last Sonic game is Sonic 3D Blast. This is also one of my original copies, and it's really wear and tear. Yeah, maybe that's what I did because this tag looks like it's coming off. I might have ripped these off as a kid, thinking, "Oh, what do I need these for?" So I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, it's definitely pretty scuffed up. But yeah, Sonic 3D Blast was awesome because I remember playing this and being like, "Wow, 3D, like crazy." I picked up this game recently. This is Subterranea, and it's like a shooter where you're kind of in this colony that's under the ground. It's pretty awesome. It is complete, which is awesome. I picked this up at Calico Games as well. This one was a little more expensive. This one was like $32. But this was another one that I played on the Mini that I was like, oh, this game's awesome. I just happened to see it on the shelf at Calico, and I was like, I'll take that. Here's another one that I found from Angry Video Game Nerd. This is not a good game, but I wanted to have it in the collection just because I think it's so bad. And I had never seen this game anywhere in any of the stores or expos I've gone to. But that's Super Hydlide. This is a really terrible adventure game. It's really bad, but it is complete. I do have all the stuff for it. This was one of my more expensive Genesis games. I think I paid $50 for this, but I couldn't pass up Super Hydlide because I had never seen this. I saw this at Retro Gorilla, and I think I didn't even hesitate. I think I just grabbed it and bought it immediately. Tazmania is a side-scrolling Looney Tunes game where you play as Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, and it's okay. It's okay. The one I really like, and this is my original copy, is Taz Escape from Mars. Now, Taz Escape from Mars is to this day a game I have never beaten. I cannot get past the fourth level. It is such a tough game. It's so hard. I have never gotten past the fourth level because to my memory, there's no password system in this game with the levels. So yeah, I've never beaten this game. I love it. I've just never beaten it. I do have Tom and Jerry Frantic Antics. It's another side-scrolling game where you're Jerry or Tom. So this one's really fun. Now this one's pretty funny. For those of you that saw the Hedgehog Christmas special, we have Hedgehog and we have the English version, Wings of War, and it's a horizontal shooter. And we made an inside joke because Andy and I accidentally found Hedgehog on the Genesis Mini, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest game of all time." So ever since that, we always go to places and we're like, okay, but is it Hedgehog? The Witcher 3. It's good, but is it Hedgehog? No, it's not. And then this is the English version for Wings of War. I'm not sure if this was an official release because I also got this from the same guy I got that Sonic one from. I don't think this is an official release. I think this is a hack or a duplicate because the cartridge has actual feathers inside of it. So I thought this was really cool. I had to get this because of the inside joke with me and Andy. I did pick up a new Genesis game, and that's Xenocrisis. Xenocrisis is badass. This game is like Smash TV. It's just a top-down, I don't want to say isometric, but it's like a twin-stick shooter. This game is tough. I've never beaten this one either. It's made by Bitmap Bureau. I also have this. The first time I had ever played this was on the Evercade, because Evercade has Xenocrisis and Tanglewood in one of the cartridges. So I saw this at Retro Gorilla and I was like, oh my god, that's Xenocrisis. So yeah, I had to pick up Xenocrisis. Then my last one is a limited run Genesis game. That is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I never had the original of this game. I always saw it, but I never thought anything of it, like to get it. But I did pre-order this from Limited Run. This was actually one of the releases from Limited Run that took me a really long time to get, probably because, you know, they had to make the cartridge and program it and all that other stuff. But the cartridge is actually like a lime transparent, like extreme green kind of color, and then you can actually see it says Limited Run actually on the motherboard of the cartridge, which is super sick. But the cartridge comes with, or the game rather, comes with a full manual, 3D glasses, and this is also where I keep my limited run trading cards. I usually keep the trading cards with the games. But that's my entire Genesis collection. Although I do have one more game that I'm not going to show because I'm missing the instruction booklet for it. So I might show it in a separate video because it's one of the most expensive games in my collection. I was kind of stoked when I found it. So I'll probably show that one in a different video. But anyways, I hope you guys like what you saw. Make sure you like and subscribe. I am going for 1,000 followers on pretty much everything on Jump TV. I know I'm not only at like 120-ish. It's a far milestone, but I'm definitely going for that milestone of 1,000. I'm trying to set a goal for myself. But on Instagram, I think I'm like 300 away from 1,000, so I'm almost there. So if you guys like retro games and you want to see more of the collection and come with me on the journey, awesome. So yeah, I think that's about it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.